In this video help, we're going to be covering the purchase report by store. Let's go ahead and look at that report. These are sample records that were added to the purchase by store report from the actual purchase records. So there's 3 sample records in the system right now. This is very similar to the purchase by product report, in that in this case we're going to convert it over and have the store as the header in the file, and you can look at all the items that were purchased by store. This is very convenient if you're looking up a product and you want to do a report by a store on a certain date and all the items that were purchased for that store. You can also use the product ID and the product name in the process as an addition to the report by store if you wanted to look up to see if something was purchased at a certain store on a certain date, or how many times that particular item was purchased on what dates on what store. This would break it down. For example, if I did the report and, for example, the blah blah thing that I ordered was actually what I was looking for, and I wanted to see who and what stores purchased it on what days, then I would go ahead and do the product name and then do the date range I was looking for along with the actual store number, and that way it would provide it. Or you can do it without the store number to see all the stores that had purchased it on what days. The next thing you'll see is the product quantity that was ordered and the product cost per item, and then the line total and the subtotal. And these should match if it's received and all the items are received. In this case, there were 6 ordered and received 5, so there's going to be a $30 difference where one of them was not received. You can see that on this report as well. The other things that you might be looking for is the particular quantity of an RMA, for example. If you had an RMA, in this case, the RMA quantity would be entered in there. For example, on this one, they should have a 1 in there. Let's just go ahead and do that. Just to show you can edit it from the screen, there's one of them that was not received, so there's an RMA for one item. If you go back to the purchase portal, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you how this works. Before I do that, though, I just want to cover that you can do a find, perform the find, but when you leave, make sure that you always show all records again. And the same thing goes on the browser. If you commit, you need to commit for the records that you change. In this case, I'm not on the browser, so it saved it automatically if I were on the iPad. But let's go to the purchase portal now and look at that one change I just made. You'll see that I showed a quantity show up in here of 1. If I had an RMA number, I'd enter the RMA number, the date, and so forth. So that's what you want to kind of look for in the product by store report, so you can see that you have an RMA that needs to be identified as far as what happened to that item. And in this case, you can see that the example of this record shows an unpaid balance due to a short shipment. Now, those are the kind of things that you want to be able to track from the report and make sure that you have all of those identified and the RMAs picked up as far as did they receive them or what's going to happen. If, for example, the vendor said or the supplier said that they were not going to send anymore because they were out of stock, you could add that comment to this particular thing and date it so that you know when it was completed as far as the action was concerned, because you're now going to need to probably go back and reorder that part on a different PO number and show that this one was closed out on this purchase order. If you have any questions, as always, you can use the icon up in the corner to go to the support site to ask questions. Thank you.